Is this the most honest and purest moment of Jimin and Jungkook that has never been shown in front of the camera? Who dares to divulge such an emotional private moment? Is there really someone inside HYB who secretly keeps their biggest secret and now chooses to reveal it? Jimin and Jungkook's happy moment leaked. Who first revealed it? Who dares to divulge a moment that not even the cameras have promised to record? Who is the figure behind the dark curtain of a company as big as HYB who suddenly decided to destroy the line between the stage and real life?
Done?
The most heartbreaking question: is it true that what was leaked was the happiest moment Jimin and Jungkook ever had? Two best friends, two brothers, two souls who were once shattered and rebuilt in the same light. That question has been haunting me since last night. Without warning, without explanation. Only one snippet of the sentence spread in internal circles, uploaded then immediately deleted. I have never seen them laugh so happily. The sentence supposedly came from a HYB staff member who has worked with BTS since their debut era, someone who knows their fatigue, their tears, even their silence that is never revealed. The leaked footage, said to have been accidentally caught on the sidelines of an internal project, features an out-of-control smile, a laugh too genuine to be called acting, and a pair of eyes looking at each other like the world is too much to bear together. Is this a moment that only the two of them share? Or is there a much deeper story that has been hidden? The most surprising thing is how this information came out. Not from the media, not the paparazzi, but from the inside. From the person who has been trusted to keep all secrets. A HYB staff member who he said had been out of work for 2 months suddenly posted a story on closed social media. Stories that do not name names directly, but it's too obvious to be mistaken. I've been in that room. There, two people laughed like little children. The camera is not recording yet. The director hasn't come yet. They don't know I'm there. But I know. I witnessed the most heartfelt moments in the lives of two people the world knows as Jimin and Jungkook. What's really going on behind the scenes? Is this part of the promotion? Or is it a silent resistance from someone who wants the world to know that idols are human, that they can cry and laugh not for the fans, not for the cameras, but for each other? Questions after questions began to arise. Is this a form of attention from someone who feels Jimin and Jungkook are no longer given breathing space by a system that demands they be perfect? Or is it precisely a betrayal of the trust that has been guarded for more than a decade? This talked about moment is not like a regular variety show or vlog recording. According to an internal source who chose silence, the moment took place in a private waiting room, behind the concert rehearsal set, just after a grueling workout, when everything dispersed, but they stayed. Without a script, without a director, just the two of them, and someone accidentally saw. Did Jimin and Jungkook know that the moment was seen by others? Do they realize even in silence they talk too much? That laugh wasn't just any laugh. There is a tremor of the treated wound. There was an unspoken embrace of the eyes. There is a language without words that only those who have passed through mutual wounds understand. What makes this story even more emotional is the fact that both, according to unconfirmed news, had asked HYB for the moment not to be kept in any archives. Not for documentation. Not for future projects. Not even for internal consumption. They want that moment just for them, but for some reason, that little piece is now outside. And the world began to ask, who has the right to such happiness? Is it public because they are global stars? Or Jimin and Jungkook themselves, who probably just want one corner of the world free from the spotlight? There were even more shocking rumors. He said the video will be used in a future documentary. But after Jimin saw her, he cried. Not out of shame, but timidly deprived of the only space where she could be herself, without the need to please anyone. Jungkook, who is notoriously secretive and protective of his friends' privacy, reportedly spoke out loud during an internal meeting, asking who dared to touch the most private parts of his friendship with Jimin. He's not angry about being leaked, but because being leaked is a part of his life that can't be repeated. Did I ask this the beginning of a split of trust in the internal HYB? Or is it just a new step for Jimin and Jungkook to speak up on their own behalf? Armies around the world are now divided. Some consider this a godsend because they can see the most human side of their two beloved idols. But many also feel hurt because the moment should not be for the public. It should only be a living memory between the two of them. But reality is not that easy. Now the public knows. The world knows. But the question still hangs. Who was the first to reveal it? And why now? Did the staff do it out of love? Or out of spite? And even more stifling, how Jimin and Jungkook felt when they found out that their happiest moment has it turned into public consumption. Will they talk about it openly? Or choose silence in order to preserve what is left of that happiness? Because in the end, it's not about who leaked it, about what was taken from them. And what we all question is one simple but painful thing. Can they still laugh like that again? Time seemed to stop when the video began to circulate in a limited way. Not through public channels, not through large platforms, but through a series of closed accounts that seemed to deliberately spread it only to a select few. But as we know, in this world, no secret can really be kept, especially if it involves names as big as Jimin and Jungkook. In less than 3 hours, the snippet of the video had been saved, re-recorded, and began to appear in the form of blurred screenshots that clearly showed two things: laughing faces and comforting gazes. There is no sound in the piece, just an expression. But sometimes, the deepest happiness is actually present without the need for words. And that's what makes it so painful, because what should have been the most beautiful secret is now the subject of global debate. One moment, one happiness. But somehow, the world feels entitled to it. HYBE did not immediately provide a statement. They were silent. Maybe out of surprise, or maybe knowing that the culprit was someone who used to be very close to the members. An old staffer that Jimin had even mentioned in his award acceptance speech in the past. A person who, according to rumors, has left the company in not entirely peaceful circumstances. Is this a form of revenge wrapped in nostalgia? Or is it precisely the last gift before completely disappearing from the industry? What makes this story even more complicated is the clues hidden in the person's personal account upload. In his short bio is written one sentence: "If the world knew how they heal each other, maybe the world would be softer on them." The sentence resonates, not only because it is beautiful, but because it stores wounds. The wound of a person who may for years be a silent witness to the struggle of two human beings who are always required to smile. But the smile, this time, was completely different. In the video, Jimin appears to turn to Jungkook, then laughs until his eyes are narrowed, his shoulders up and down. Jungkook didn't say anything, but he laughed along. Then, suddenly, he grabbed Jimin's hand and just patted him softly. Small movements, but enough to make the heart of anyone who sees it feel crushed. Because of that laugh, it looks too real to be just a fabrication. The fans who had been following them for years immediately recognized that expression. It's not a variety show. It's not a laugh when the camera is on, and they have to look happy. It is laughter when all the pressure is released, when there is no more role to play. And precisely because of this, the fans felt indignant, feeling betrayed. Not by Jimin and Jungkook, but by the system that was supposed to protect them. One of the fans even wrote in an open letter: "We do not want to see their happiness from the forced opening of the door. We want them to share it when they're ready. Don't take that beautiful moment and turn it into a spectacle." They're not actors in a movie, they're people. The question is now getting louder. Why now? Why, when Jimin and Jungkook are going through a period of recovery after the various stresses they experienced throughout the year? Why is it that when they have just begun to smile more honestly in public, suddenly the most personal part of their relationship is stripped without permission? Some speculated that the video was actually part of internal documentation for HYBE's sentimental purposes, an archive that could only be viewed by the closed-door production team. But someone copied it. Someone with access and motivation. Does that person want the world to see the side that has been hidden? Or just want to prove that not all emotions can be controlled by the script? The conflict heated up even more when the next day, an anonymous account uploaded an electrifying narrative edition. You only see 13 seconds. But I watched it for almost 40 minutes. No one can imitate such affection. They're not pretending. They are each other. The upload left the whole world speechless. Is it true that the moment is longer than we see? Is it true that for 40 minutes they open their hearts to each other without realizing that other eyes are peeping? And if that's true, why hasn't HYB made a clarification yet? On the other hand, longtime BTS fans began to dig back into the archives of old videos. Lookin'. Now, after almost a week since the snippet of the video came to the surface, the world is still not standing still. The media did not dare to touch too deeply on this issue, as if they knew that once they raised it in the wrong way, the storm of the army could explode and destroy their credibility. But can anyone really resist curiosity when at stake are two hearts that have grown together before the public for more than a decade? This question has not ceased to resonate. Who exactly was the first to leak the video? Clues after clues appear, but they are all cryptic. Several armies began investigating EXIF data from circulating screenshots. One of them even claims to have found metadata that points to an internal HYB production kit, with code commonly used for exclusive behind-the-scenes that was never published. But surprisingly, a day later, the fans' Twitter account suddenly disappeared. All tweets deleted. No explanation. Just a last sentence that thrilled his thousands of followers. I found more than I should have. I don't want to hurt them. The sentence raises even more questions. Is there something bigger hidden behind that video? Are Jimin and Jungkook's happy moments just the tip of the iceberg of a story the agency has kept secret? There are rumors that Jimin and Jungkook are working on something secretly. Not just a music project, but something personal, documentary, or even confession? But was the video leaked as a form of sabotage against the project? Or is someone trying to leak the part that should be the purest emotional shock of the two? And one more bitter fact began to stick out, that the moment happened not in the near future, but quite a long time ago. At least more than 8 months ago. If so, why didn't they ever share that moment with each other? An anonymous email went into one of the biggest fan forums. It has no identity, but it is very specific. In the email it says, "They are ready to show that happiness." But every time they approach the decision to uncover it, something stops them. It says, "The world is not ready. Do not destroy what has been built." But they're not being destroyed. They're healing. That last sentence resonated everywhere. They're healing. But from what? Is it a wound that has never really been noticed by the public? What is the relationship that has to be held, buried, denied for the sake of maintaining the image? HYB still hasn't spoken. However, some Korean media began to develop alternative narratives. Some tried to calm the public by calling the video part of the archive acting practice, a claim that was immediately refuted by fans who knew for sure that Jimin and Jungkook had never taken part in such training together. Especially not with such an intimate atmosphere and no script. What made this moment even more poignant was when one of the longtime makeup assistants, who had worked with BTS during the Love Yourself era, wrote something on her Instagram story. Although it does not mention names, the writing reads, "Sometimes the purest laughter comes from those who have not been allowed to cry for a long time." Fans immediately linked the post to the leaked video. Moreover, he uploaded it just a few hours after rumors about the date of recording the video spread. Is this a silent form of solidarity? Or is it a message for agencies that still choose silence? And in the midst of all this, Jungkook begins to look different. A few days after the incident, he appeared in a video call with fans. His face remained smiling, but his voice as if restrained. He laughed softly, answering the question as usual, but one fan asked, "Appa, if you could go to a place where there is no one and just laugh carefree, where would you go?" Jungkook was silent. Then the answer came, softly, almost in a whisper, "To the place where there are no cameras. And there's only one person who knows how to make me laugh." The audience knows right away. They know who that person is. And they know that this is no longer about love, not about fan service, not about fan theories. It is about two people who have been, and may still be, the place of each other's passing. And what about Jimin? He hasn't been seen. Since the video was leaked, it has not appeared on social media. No updates. No messages.
No sudden appearances.
And